What is going on, everybody? I am the FDGURU, bringing to you guys a Wednesday NBA main slate video using FanDuel salaries. I'm going to talk about some of my favorite value plays at each position. We have a few questionable guys, but not a ton. It looks like a fairly clean injury report considering we have 9 games on the main slate tonight. As usual, the main slate will be on my website, FanDuel and DraftKings, and I'll have a FanDuel after-hour slate for those last 2 games on my Dub Club. You can get that free week trial of Dub Club below my video with a link. We got, some decent spend-ups. I think we want to stay, somewhat towards the middle tier range. Jokic is on this slate against the Pelicans. Nuggets, one of the higher predicted scoring teams projection-wise on this slate against the Pelicans. So we're going to want to try to get to Jokic in any way possible. I'm not going to have him in this video, but we'll see how things shake up as we get closer to lock. He's definitely somewhat of a priority tonight. We have Austin Reeves, in my opinion, as the next best spend-up. In terms of questionable guys, in that Pelicans and Nuggets game, we have pretty notable guys on each side. We have Zion questionable with his foot injury for the Pelicans. He missed last game. And we have Cameron Johnson questionable for the Nuggets. Those are the big names on the injury report tonight. Again, there's not a ton. Some other questionable guys we are looking at tonight are Asar Thompson on the Pistons with an illness. That's a 7 o'clock game, so we'll get that news. Jalen Green still trying to come back from his hamstring injury, is yet to play a game in his new Suns uniform. All the Suns guys are pretty properly priced there, so if he's out, that doesn't change much of anything. But that's basically it. Santi Aldama's questionable with a shoulder for the Grizzlies. Talked about Cameron Johnson. There's not much else. Karis LeVert also for the Pistons questionable. Nurkic questionable for the Jazz. But overall, not a huge injury report on this slate. We're going to get right into point guard. Assuming he's starting again tonight. Looked really good in his start for the Kings last game. And he's still too cheap if he's starting. Russell Westbrook at 4,800 projected for over 25 fantasy points here. He needs 24 to hit value. Great matchup against the Bulls. This is one of my favorite games on the slate tonight. The Kings and Bulls should see a lot of points in this game. Westbrook, 27 minutes 2 games ago for 35 fantasy points. Started against the Thunder, pretty tough matchup. Played 30 minutes, looked good again. 34 fantasy points. This is going to be a much better spot for him tonight against the Bulls. 4,800, as I said, too cheap for him. He's going to be a very popular play if he is starting in place of Keon Ellis. Once again, Westbrook. I don't even know if it's I don't even know if we rule him out even if he isn't starting. I think he's going to see plenty of minutes off the bench at that price. But there's no reason not to think that he starts again after playing so well in his start against the Thunder. Shooting guard, middle tier here. I like Cameron. Where is he? I forget his last name. Cam Thomas, 6,600 against the Hawks. If the Nets can stay in this game, this is a really good spot. I do think they will stay in this game. It's a 7-point spread. Obviously, the Hawks like to play fast. They don't have great defense. Thomas, the number one option on this Nets team ahead of Michael Porter Jr., in my opinion. He's projected for 35 fantasy points here in this spot. He only needs 32, 33 to hit value. He's had 2 really good games and 2 not so good games. Tough matchup against the Rockets. They got blown out in Houston. Every time he's played over 30 minutes, he has dropped 40 or more fantasy points in the 2 out of 4 games there. So if he can play over 30 minutes, which would really just be, mattering if the Nets can stay in this game, which I think they do, he's going to look good tonight. As I said, he projects really well. It's a good price for Cam Thomas on the Nets. Small forward, I think we spend up at Reeves again. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Even at 9,300, I had said in my last video when he was playing, he was only, I think, 86 or 8,700, and I said he should be priced at 10,000. I still think he should be priced at 10,000. Projected for almost 50 fantasy points tonight in Minnesota. 92 points over the last 2 games while filling up the stat sheet in the rebounds, assists, steals. He did have 8 turnovers against the Blazers. That still didn't keep him from getting over 50 fantasy points. This guy has hit value in all 4 games. He has looked so good, a rising superstar for the Lakers. He's going to, again, tonight have to step up in the absence of LeBron James and Luka Doncic. He's going to be the number 1 option for the Lakers tonight. Love Reeves even at 9,300. Power forward, I mean, I loved Randall last slate at 7K, and I like him again tonight, even at 7,900. Obviously, the price isn't as intriguing. Went up $900, but against his former team at home, I like the pace that this game's going to have. I think it's going to stay fairly competitive here. Randall projected for 43 fantasy points. He only needs 38 to hit value. Looks like another great value play. He's gotten over 42 fantasy points in all 4 games this year. So there's no reason to think that he can't do it yet again. And obviously those usage bumps with Anthony Edwards on the shelf for a couple of weeks. He looks really good. We can project him for 33 to 38 minutes tonight, and he's going to grade out really well, even at that elevated $7,900 salary. I honestly think with Edwards off the court, he should be ranging from $8,500 to $9,000. So this is a good value on FanDuel for Julius Randle against the Lakers. And then for center, I didn't love many center options tonight. There was a sub 6K guy you could look at, maybe more for GPPs. Jalen Duren is projected for 31 fantasy points. He only needs 28 to hit value, but he's been so up and down already this year. 19, 12 minutes, 20 minutes. He's capped off up at 28 minutes, which is not a comfortable feeling because obviously in NBA DFS, we want our guys to be on the court as long as possible to get as many fantasy points as possible. His playing time has been very stagnant. That's why he's more of a GPP guy, because I don't know what to expect from him. I don't know if I'm going to even end up rostering him, but he's something that's popping on the projections here early on. I was going to say Sabonis in this video at 8,700, and then I realized on the other side in this game, Vucevic is projected the same exact amount of fantasy points as Sabonis, and he's $600 cheaper, so why not go with Vucevic? A major offensive option for the Bulls here. Love him. He's projected for 42 fantasy points. He's looked great in 2 out of his 3 games, 49.8 and 53.9 fantasy points. You can go with Sabonis. He has a higher ceiling, but you are paying up an extra $600. I don't mind either one of them. Again, I am going to make it a priority to try to get up to Jokic, but as of right now, early on in the day, I haven't seen enough comfortable cheap value for me to get to Jokic. We'll see how things pan out later on for this slate. Again, I do feel really good about Jokic, but we have to be able to find some good cheap value plays as well. I forgot to mention I'm doing a free FanDuel lineup as well on Twitter. I had tweeted out earlier. Different from what I'm going to be posting on my website. DM me to get a FanDuel Main Slate lineup tonight as a bonus lineup. That'll do it for these value plays in this video, guys. Thanks for stopping by. Drop a like. I do appreciate it. Until next time, I am the FD Guru. Peace.